Greetings. Happy Sunday. I wanted to come in and just share an idea that I hold inside of myself that I don't often talk about, just because I feel like it can be, it's an idea that people would find difficult to digest. But yesterday I was watching Reggie. It's a documentary about Reggie Jackson, the baseball player for the Yankees that won like everything back in the 70s. And as a child, I remember, because I was born in the late 60s, I remember hearing about Reggie Jackson and his success and his adventures around, being a baseball player and this brother. And he was fabulous, right? But I'm watching this documentary, and the documentary is really about racism and the environment that he was born into and how much racism he saw in the world at that time as an American, as a black man, and then how he experienced racism in the field of baseball and how he is still working to counter the experience of racism today in baseball. And one of the things that has always been fascinating to me in a black woman's body is how there's so many black men who are advocates around racism and wanting racism to stop, but then they marry white women. And I always am like, oh, that's very interesting that this person has a white wife. Harry Belafonte, many politically known black men who were advocates for equality and the ending of racism are married to white women. And here's what I want to say about that, is that that's a conflict, is what I want to say. Energetically, spiritually, it is a conflict. Where you put your energy, if you are laying down with a white woman who would have loyalty to white supremacy, whether she is a racist or not, it's not about that. It's about her mother's mother's mother. Like, who was her mother's mother's mother? Who was her great grandmother? Because that is the energy that she was born into, that she was cultivated in. Because by the time we become a human being fully in the physical form, we have been gestating for generations in the ovaries of our great grandmothers, right? So it doesn't matter, and I know this is a wild idea. It doesn't matter if the white woman that you are married to is a confessed or professed or practiced racist. It's not about that. It's about the family she comes from. So, based upon that, if you just think generations ago, America is just now touching the conversation around what freedom really is. So most white people, whether they are currently in the lines of being racist now, if they think that way or not, they come from families who were, especially if they are in the South. Their great-great-grandmothers were racist. Their great-great-grandfathers were. If they didn't own black people as servants, they were poor white trash, and they were the ones who were programmed to fight for the wealthy on behalf of racism. So, when a man is married to a white woman and having children and giving all of his resources there, but fighting for equality, honey, I just want you to know that your equality was already given, in that you get to lay down with that white woman and have her as your wife, and that you produce children with her. That's your equality. Your equality is not that you're going to own the baseball team. They've already given you you've already used your energy for what you deeply desire by choosing a white woman. If you want real equality for that goes beyond your ability to choose, if you want equality for those who come after you, you have to lay down with a woman that comes from people who truly desire equality. She has to be a black woman because of the energy, because of how, that black woman will have been gestated in the womb of black women who have the power the desire. They have the creative potential. They have the deep yearning for freedom. When you are laying with a white woman, she doesn't have a yearning for freedom. She just has a yearning to have your energy and your power because it makes her feel powerful. She doesn't care if your brothers and sisters or your cousins, she doesn't care if they are free or not at the energetic level, because it doesn't really connect to her. So as I'm watching this documentary, about Reggie, and, all he's talking about is wanting equality in baseball and how he didn't have the right and how he was not treated as a man. And, those are the things that he cares about. But if you are laying down with a white woman, they've given you the prize. So all your protests about not having equality are mute because they've given you one of their daughters. So you have your reward. If you want a greater reward, you have to be connected with a woman who is anchored at her soul in the desire for freedom. You have to be with a woman who has a deep propensity for creating something new that really would benefit her and her children and her family. And if you're doing that with a white woman, you're just eating your own tail. You really are. So I think that people should be able to love whoever they want and do whatever they want if that's what they're up to. But you have to understand that the people that you marry, the people that you link your energy to, if they are not anchored in the same purpose and desire and deep intention at the soul level that you are, from their ancestry, this ancestor shit is not a joke. If they are anchored to slave masters and racist, then that is what you are. That's where you're putting your power, in that ancestry bowl. If you want freedom, you have to anchor yourself to people at the ancestral level, at the spiritual level, who actually desire freedom. Because we just continue to create at the level that we are functioning at mentally and spiritually. So I just wanted to share that. I think it's, the show is interesting. If you guys haven't watched it, check it out. If anybody knows OJ, I'm not OJ. I know OJ just died. God bless him. But he also was a man who wanted freedom, anchored himself into a white woman. And you see how it worked out, because these women can't hold your power. They can't hold your vision. They don't have the depths. They don't have the expansion. They don't have the desire. They don't have the magic. They don't have the power for you to actually get fully realized as a full human. And you give it up. You forfeit that when you marry them. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Have a beautiful day. I'm the Moon Mama. If you want to do some work with me, you can check out my website, healwithmoonmama.com. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.